Chairman of the Marcellus Shale Coalition.
Thank you. Feel free to applaud. Thank you. Thank you. I would like to, before I get started with the introduction, call to your attention one really special lady that's pulled off what I think is a fabulous event from the very beginning. When I first mentioned to Katie that we wanted to do something like this, her eyes just rolled into the back of her head and stayed there for a good while. And I think it seemed like an overwhelming task, and it was, and I think she really needs a great round of applause. So everybody give Katie Klaber a round of applause. With Governor Corbett attending to his duties with the flood situation throughout the Commonwealth today, our thoughts are certainly with him and with all of those impacted by the crisis that they're going through. With every storm, there's a little bit of a silver lining. So we are very thankful that Secretary of Environmental Protection Michael Krancer can be with us here today to deliver the keynote address. Secretary Krancer was nominated by Governor Corbett and confirmed by the State Senate to lead the Department of Environmental Protection earlier this year. In that role, he leads the efforts to enforce some of the nation's most forward-leaning protections of our air, water, and land to protect the Commonwealth's environmental quality for this generation and future generations. Our coalition's guiding principles make clear our commitment to being good stewards of our natural resources, and we are proud to work collaboratively with the DEP and a variety of stakeholders in that very regard. Before serving at the DEP, Secretary Krancer was a judge on the Pennsylvania Environmental Hearing Board, a legal partner here in Philadelphia, and Assistant General Counsel for the Exelon Corporation. Beyond his extensive professional service, the Secretary serves on the Board of Directors of Indwelling, which is a nonprofit faith-based initiative corporation, and on the Board of Trustees of Newman University. We thank him for joining us this afternoon to discuss the role his department plays with many important stakeholders across the Commonwealth, including the Pennsylvania natural gas industry. It's my honor to introduce the Secretary of Environmental Protection, Mr. Michael Krancer.
Well, first, thank you for having me. It's really my honor, my privilege to be here. As you know, the governor could not be here, and the governor has told me to send his regards and his acknowledgement to you. The governor is, as Mr. Walker said, tending to a very serious situation that we have in the Commonwealth, especially in the middle part of the Commonwealth with flooding. It is a very serious situation. We have Susquehanna that hasn't crested yet. It's about to crest, I understand, about 29 inches tomorrow morning. To give you a little bearing, 17 feet, I say inches, 17 feet is the flood stage. And Agnes, some of you may remember Agnes, I sure do, I was in high school, was 32 feet. So we have a situation that he is attending to, and I'll give you a little insight about the governor. He told us coming in, and he's always said that the number one function, the number one duty of government is to protect the public safety. And this is a governor that tends to that duty personally. And he is on duty right now at the PEMA headquarters, and from my understanding is there around the clock, which some folks they look up and they see the governor there, and my understanding is there's a little bit of a surprise in that, but he is a hands-on governor, I can tell you that. And I did get a call last night to pinch hit for the governor, so I feel a little bit like last night Phillies game, Ross Glode. I don't know if anybody was there. He came in pinch hit for the Phillies in the bottom of the ninth. That's good. We'll hear it for Ross Glode. And if I can do half as well as Ross Glode did, I'm going to be okay today. I did get another call last night while I was gathering some of my thoughts here, and the call asked me, and it was from PEMA headquarters, asked me to get some information, to get some lay of the land of what was going on with some drill sites and so on. And I have to thank Marcellus Shale Coalition, Katie Klaber, Dave Callahan, Mr. Walker, Dave Spiegelmeyer, Anna Darko, Talisman. They all weighed in almost right away and got the information to me so that I could get the information to the PEMA headquarters and the governor. And to me, that's a great example of our working together and all on the same page for the same goal. And again, that's to protect public safety. I'm also really delighted to be here for the simple reason that I live here. So I'm always looking for a reason to get to southeastern PA. This is my home. I love southeastern PA, and it's very important to me. And I believe, and I'll talk about this, that this industry, that this business is very important to southeastern Pennsylvania. And southeastern Pennsylvania has a real role to play in this industry, and southeastern Pennsylvania is already enjoying some of the benefits that this industry is bringing to our Commonwealth and to the nation. Again, a little more insight into the governor. When he called us in and told us what he was all about and what he believed, as I said, he told us that he believes that government's function is public safety. That's number one. Now, my agency, DEP, the one he asked me to head, is front and center on that front. And we do that every day. That's our job, is to protect public safety and protect the environment. The governor also said, and you've heard the governor say this, that we have one chance to get this business and get this resource right. And we're going to get it right here in Pennsylvania. And that, again, is my function. That's the job he's charged me to do, is to get it right and to do the one shot and get it right the first time. We don't have a second shot at this. We only have one. Now, I'm a frustrated economist. I have an economics degree that I took from the University of Virginia, my second home Commonwealth. So I know a little bit about economics, and I was in business. As Ray said, I was with Exelon. I know about energy markets. I know about capital markets, all that sort of thing. And I could make the economic case, the economic arguments for the importance and the critical nature of this industry. It is a tremendous opportunity. Everybody knows that. It's a tremendous opportunity for the state. It's a tremendous opportunity for the country, for the nation, for the world. We heard somebody yesterday, a FERC commissioner, say that this has changed the world. This Marcellus play, this gas industry has changed the world. There's no question about it. It's certainly changing and changed Pennsylvania already. Let's look at job growth, or think about the job growth. We all heard last month the 0% job growth in the nation. Do you know, that's the first time, from my understanding, that that's been the case since 1945. 1945. World War II was still going on in 1945. But let's juxtapose that, contrast that with what you see in Pennsylvania. All you have to do is travel around and you can see it. We in Pennsylvania have a lower unemployment rate than the national average. A major part of the reason for that is what this industry brings to the table on that regard, or in that regard, not only with direct jobs, but indirect jobs, the ripple effect, as economists call it. We have some counties in our state that economists would say are at full employment. That's remarkable in this economy, which is a very challenged economy. There's no question about it. And I'd also add that this industry, this industry has pumped over $1 billion in various value-added tax revenues and so forth into our economy of Pennsylvania. And some of you may have read the paper this morning. The New York DEC, the Department of Environmental Conservation, I think it's called up there, just issued its report. I'm not sure what the technical name of it is, but they said that in New York, 55,000 jobs will be created. $2.5 billion of wages will be pumped into the economy up there, and the industry could last 60 years. That's the DEC, which I guess part of me is saying DEC must stand for Department of Economic Catch-up. I don't know. The other benefits, and these are benefits that I see here in southeastern Pennsylvania, and I'll preach to my colleagues and brethren down here at the Southeast. We have lower gas rates here. PGW, PICO gas rates are lower. My gas rates are lower in my PICO bill. Everybody's gas rates are lower because of that. We have a lower cost of electricity. Gas has gone from 14 to about 4. That has driven the price of power down, and believe me, I know, I saw that while I was at Exelon. The price of power became much lower because the commodity price went down. Well, that has collateral effects. When the price of power goes down, plants can add other shifts. New plants can come in. We become more competitive on an international front with our products. So that's a big deal. The other big deal is not just the economic part of it, is the environmental part of it, what I call the clean part of it, and it's domestic. Those two things are critical. These are things that have geopolitical, international significance. This is a low-carbon fuel. That means to me, as an environmental regulator, and frankly as an environmentalist, that means clean air. That means a city where I grew up in Philadelphia, should we have occasion to replace our transportation fuel and make it gas, we're going to have cleaner air here. And also, the fuel is domestic. It is right under our footprint. That means we will not any longer have to be at the mercy of these mercurial foreign commodity markets, or even much more mercurial foreign potentates. And you can see in the news every day recently what's going on with some foreign potentates that are in a position of controlling supplies of our fuel. So again, huge opportunities. I could make these points, I could make these economic arguments, but my job, the job the governor charged me with, is protecting the environment while we do it. That's my job. And let me tell you basically what my 4 pillars, my four hallmarks are of doing that. I'll list them and then we'll discuss them. They're not the entire list, but these are the ones I wanted to highlight this morning or this afternoon. And let me also say that these are joint efforts. These are not just, hey, this is my pillar or this is the government's pillar. I think these are pillars and principles that we all share and that we all should share working together to get this right. One is sound science. Another is the highest standards of performance. A third is tough state rules and state regulations and oversight. And the fourth is tough enforcement. Let me elaborate a little bit on each one of these. My approach from day one, and even before day one, has always been based on the sound science, fact, not emotion and not fiction. As a judge, that was important to me. As a lawyer, that was important to me. As a DEP secretary, that's important to me. Frankly, as a human being, that's important to me, and it ought to be important to everybody else. To base policy decisions on sound fact is fundamental to making the right kinds of decisions. Now, there are, or there is, I should say, and we've all seen it, there's an ideological based or ideologically based opposition to this industry. And that opposition is not based on science or fact. That opposition, to some extent, and it's not the majority. I really don't think it is the majority. I know it's not the majority. It's not based on fact or on science. And I'll give you an example. You all know the Department of Energy did a subcommittee on this industry, and I think day one down in DC there was a presentation by an individual, and the gist of the presentation was almost an angry presentation. It was very angry, pointing a finger at the chairman of this DOE group, saying, we shouldn't even be here. We should not be here. We should not be asking this question. What's the question that's so offensive? The question was, how can we do this right? That was the offensive question. Can you believe that? That's the offensive question. This gentleman went on to say, we should not be here. We should not be asking this question. We should not be engaging in this activity at all. Now, sometimes that ideology gets in the way of scientists and gets in the way of scientific research. We've seen some examples of that. And I don't need to name names, and I don't need to point them out, but you know what they are. And one of them, an author of one of these, quote, reports, these scientific reports, was quoted in an op-ed column here in the Philadelphia Inquirer. And this is the gist of what this author said. The gist is, we would like to see shale gas become largely unnecessary. That's the bent. We would like to see shale gas become largely unnecessary. And that is the author of a scientific report. Anyway, I would posit these questions to juxtapose against the question that gentleman asked, or that statement that gentleman asked. Shouldn't we ask this? Wouldn't we like to see our country's reliance on foreign energy supplies, quote, become largely unnecessary? Second question, shouldn't we ask this? Wouldn't we like to see dirty air in our cities and adverse health impacts become largely unnecessary? Those are the things I'd like to see become largely unnecessary. Second, I've always preached, and many of you heard it already, the highest standards. I call it the walk the walk. Y'all have to walk the walk, and that's important. And your companies have to walk the walk every day in their everyday activities out in the field, because that's what people see and that's what affects the environment. And to me, that involves an ethos, a culture within a corporation, within a company, within an organization. It doesn't have to be a corporation. And that ethos of safety first, protecting the environment first, that has to come directly from the top. It has to come from the top. It has to be messaged that that is the ethos of this company, this organization. I know, because I've been in organizations that have been like that, in which that ethos was communicated from the top, so there was no doubt where every one of us as employees of that company stood. I do say to you, and I raise this as a challenge to you, and I've done it before, that you are your brother's keeper in this business, and in any business really. Peer pressure is critical. It's important. You need to exert that peer pressure on your peers so that everybody does it the right way. Everybody does it by the best standards. Everybody exceeds the standards. Everybody is looking to improve the standards. That expectation of excellence among your peers is critical to the mission. Third is tough state rules and tough state regulations. And I've spoken a lot about that as well. I think Pennsylvania has the model program in the United States and the world with respect to the regulation and oversight of this industry. I can tell you that I have had visitors who spoke foreign languages from foreign countries come to me and come to our agency to learn how it's done. Now that speaks a lot of, that says a lot. We have, as you know, and I don't need to run through the list because you know them, the well casing, Chapter 78, total dissolved solids regulation, you name it. We in this state set the model, set the pace in the tough and constant and vigilant oversight of this industry. And I'll say this as well, and this is an important message that you need to take home, and I'll keep resonating, and that is the states do it right. We know our state better than anybody. We live here. We know the geology. We know the geography. We're in the best position to oversee and to regulate this business. And we've been doing it here in Pennsylvania for more than 100 years. I think people lose sight of that, and I probably am guilty of that because I'm from the Southeast. I mean, I joke around with the coal folks that I never saw a piece of coal until I was 35 years old. I didn't even know what it looked like. And the same could be said for me probably about a gas well or an oil well. There are not too many of those down in Montgomery County or Lower Merion Township where I live. But we have this industry here and have been dealing with it and had it as a native industry for 100 years. The first commercial oil well was here. You all know that. It was in our history books growing up that Titusville was the first commercial oil well in the United States. So my message there is we in this Commonwealth, not Washington, D.C., are best suited to oversee this industry. Tough enforcement. That's the fourth item on my list. Now that's a command directly from the governor. The governor has insisted and given me the message that we need to be tough enforcers. And he's preaching to the choir as far as I'm concerned, because I want to leave a legacy as an enforcement secretary for this enforcement governor. Let's not forget, this governor was a prosecutor on 2 levels. He was a federal prosecutor and obviously the state attorney general. And I share that philosophy about tough enforcement, and I've actually written an opinion about it. I walk the walk when it comes to that. That's a 10-year-old opinion. I'll share it with anybody who wants me. Just email me and say, give me your enforcement opinion, and I'll give it to you. And my theory on this is constitutional. It's very simple. It goes back to my basic belief in the free market system. The free market system must work on everybody obeying the same rules. That's the way it has to work. Cheaters cannot be allowed to gain an unfair advantage over those who devote the time, attention, resources, capital, effort to be compliant with the regulations. Cheaters, by definition, ruin the free market. Now, as a free market economist, I shudder at that. But what makes it even worse is that at the same time they're destroying the free market, they're polluting the environment. That is a double whammy, and that's why it's constitutional for me to believe in and practice tough enforcement. I always make an analogy to baseball, which I love, and it'll be my second one in this talk. I apologize, to the Mark McGwire. Nobody appreciated Mark McGwire taking steroids. His fellow athletes didn't, and I can tell you that we as consumers or as baseball fans didn't appreciate it either. So, really in summation, and I know I stand between you and dessert or you and lunch, and that's always dangerous, but at the end of the day, we are going to get this right. We're already getting it right. We're well on the road to getting it right. We have great partners here in Pennsylvania to deal with. We have a great regulatory agency to deal with. We have a governor who gets it, who understands it, who insists that it be done right, and he's committed to it. I, as secretary, am committed to getting it right, and I know that all of you are committed to getting it right as well. So we are going to get it right. We're going to do it together. And again, I appreciate the opportunity to come to my hometown to be able to speak to you in this hometown. And again, I congratulate you for having this conference here in Philadelphia. I think that in and of itself is a statement that's significant, and I, as a Southeastern Pennsylvanian, really appreciate it. Thank you.
Many thanks to Secretary Krancer for joining us here today. We certainly appreciate him taking the time as the governor attends to his duties, as Ray Walker noted. And our thoughts certainly are with the governor as he is with those impacted by the flooding. I have often said that ours is a highly regulated, highly sophisticated, and highly innovative industry. For those who watched any of the Innovation Expo presentations in the exhibit hall, I hope you understand exactly what we mean. 9 top-notch presentations were made over the last 2 days that really shine a spotlight on the importance of innovation to the future of our industry. We will now turn our attention to the 2 presentations that will count as the best of the best, our Innovation Expo winners. Here to announce the awards are Bill Hall from the Ben Franklin Technology Partners and Dale Logan from Schlumberger.
Good afternoon. My name is Bill Hall. I'm with the Ben Franklin Technology Partners. I'm the director of the Shale Gas Innovation and Commercialization Center. Our organization is proud to join with Schlumberger to co-sponsor the Innovation Expo, as Katie said, to shine a spotlight on a number of leading innovators serving the natural gas industry. A total of 41 proposals were received from companies who aim to present at the Innovation Expo here in Philadelphia. A technical advisory committee was selected. 9 presentations were to be made here at the conference over the last 2 days. Our conference evaluated each of the presentations diligently, I might add. There were some arguments here and there, but we got through. Our committee evaluated these proposals based on their appeal to the natural gas industry and their promotion of safe and environmentally sound, abundant oil and gas development. This afternoon, we are prepared to present awards in 2 categories: technical breakthroughs and responsible development. Winners will be able to direct a monetary contribution from the Ben Franklin Technology Partners to the charity of their choice. I wanted to just recognize all 9 partners. We only have 2 official winners, but we had 9 great presentations, and in no particular order. Nittany Extraction Technologies, Arcadis US, Saltwater Solutions, Range Resources, Schlumberger, Earth Data Northeast, PureStream Technology, Crawford Technical Services, and Aqua Resource Management. In addition, I was asked to say a few words about innovation, and you know, how do you say a few words about innovation? If you're not innovating, you're extinct. I mean, that's how it really works. This industry is a great example of an industry that's thrived through innovation. You know, innovation in the E&P sector, clearly horizontal drilling and hydrofracking technologies have created the industry as we know it today. But in those areas, they're not stagnant. Even in our presentations over the last couple days, we can see where there are going to be improvements in both of those sectors. And additionally, and I think a lot of the presenters brought this up over the last couple days, we need to see innovations in environmental protection, site management and security, expanded uses for natural gas, which is one of the focuses for Ben Franklin, innovations in communication, public relations, policy revisions to support both the industry and the public sector, remote sensing, land use, resolution of industry and public works. I mean, you could go on and on and on with the list of innovations, and that's what we do for a business. We invest in innovations and try to commercialize them, and I can tell you they come from every sector imaginable. So I'm looking forward to a tremendous amount of innovations as the industry goes forward. With that, I'd like to introduce Dale Logan, Vice President, Northeast Region for Schlumberger, who will join me in announcing the Innovation Expo Awards. Dale?
Thank you, Bill. So before we do the awards, we'd just like to take this opportunity to thank the Shale Coalition's Technical Advisory Committee, who helped us go through the 41 proposals that were sent in to come up with the 9 people that came to present here. And those people include Dennis Degner with Range Resources, Paul Mazzolini with Talisman Energy, John Bartuska with JW Energy, Tim Fogarty with Innovation Works, and Greg Clutter with the Mid-Atlantic Technology Research and Innovation Center. They did tireless work, and we'd like to thank the committee. And now, I'd like to introduce to you the winner in the Technical Breakthrough category, who is going to be able to direct that $2,500 donation to a charity of their choice, thanks to the Ben Franklin Technology Partners. And the winner is John Hellman with Nittany Technology, Extraction Technologies. And I'd like to invite him up here to receive a check and say a few words.
I'm aging a little bit. I have to put my glasses on, if I can find them. Well, Bill, Dale, Marcellus Shale Coalition, Schlumberger, Ben Franklin Program, colleagues, and friends, thank you very much for selecting Nittany Extraction Technology for the 2011 Shale Gas Insights Innovation Award. Our technology, development of proppants from indigenous raw materials, is the outcome of nearly 3 decades of work at Penn State University on synthetic proppants. This work coupled the diversion of cast-off industrial byproducts with the manufacturing of proppants using Pennsylvania transportation and manufacturing infrastructure and for use in the rapidly emerging natural gas industry. In the spirit of Penn State's mission as a land-grant university, Nittany Extraction Technologies will donate the award to the Earth and Mineral Sciences Academy for Global Experience. This award will be used to support field work for students engaged in the development of science and technology of importance to the Marcellus Play. Thanks again for your generosity. It'll help educate the next generation of students on the environmentally sound development of the Marcellus. Thank you. You want me to carry that?
We don't want it. It's all yours. You can Congratulations, John. And now I'd like to introduce the winner for the Responsible Development category, who will also have a $2,500 donation that they'll be able to direct to the charity of their choice, courtesy of the Ben Franklin Technology Partners. And that winner is, based right here out of a suburb in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. It's David Fenimore with Earth Data Northeast. David, come on up.
Thank you very, very much to the Marcellus Shale Coalition and all of the supporters. This is a huge day for us. Our whole project involved monitoring for groundwater. Groundwater is a key issue for the development of the Marcellus Shale, and we're just thrilled to have a part in that. So I'd like to thank everybody involved. I think it's been a great conference, and this is really a great day for us. And due to all the flooding and everything, we'd like to contribute our money to the American Red Cross. I think it's they put it to great use. Thank you very much.
So we'd like to congratulate each winner and for all those who presented here in Philadelphia, and indeed for everybody who submitted an abstract. As Bill mentioned earlier, it was not an easy task picking winners, but it's very heartening to know that there's so much innovation going on here in the Marcellus, and it's making a real change to our nation. So on behalf of Schlumberger and Ben Franklin Technology Partners and our Technology Advisory Committee, thank you.
Thank you, Bill and Dale. That was everything we were hoping it would be to this conference. Innovation has to be a part of everything we do going forward, because it's certainly done a lot for this industry so far. Innovation Expo really was one of the high points, seeing firsthand the next generation of breakthroughs in a very exciting, dynamic industry. This will be the final time that we're all together here in the ballroom, so let me thank everyone again for their attendance and active participation in Shale Gas Insight 2011. It's been a fast-paced 2 days, and that was totally by design, just to have so many people interested in what was going on here these 2 days. But that design, I think, reflects that fast-paced design, a very fast-paced industry. We need to access information, insight very quickly. It's our hope that we have just delivered that in the 2 days here in Philadelphia. But our day is not yet done. When we leave the main ballroom in a few minutes, there'll be a gathering down on the first floor, the main concourse for a refreshment break. At 2:30, you will have 5 different sessions from which to choose. I've been getting feedback from a lot of you that it's been very difficult to choose, but these last 5 sessions have quite a bit of new information in them. So I really look forward to seeing some of those wrap up the day today. I have one quick weather note that's been a topic of conversation as we prepare to travel safely back home today. Many airlines are already delaying flights, and there are some roads in this and other parts of the state that have been impacted by flooding. Please check your travel plans and prepare accordingly. There are flights that are being delayed, but some of which are certainly on time out of Philadelphia Airport. Once again, thank you for joining us. I will see you in a few moments at the refreshment break on the first floor main concourse, followed by the 5 sessions